Welcome to another episode of Not for the Weak-Minded. Now, in a previous video, I mentioned about researching Albert Pike, and so I thought to myself, why not do a video about it? Now, as you can see over here, his opening says he's a Freemason, right? And if we look at the picture, he's got a 33-degree sign with a pyramid with this illumination, and now that is key because they call themselves the illuminated ones because they hide secret knowledge of how the world works and have been using it against us. You see here the eagle symbol, but also it's mirrored an image and represents good and evil. Here you see the Templar cross and its connection to the Freemasons and the Catholic Church. Now, I was going through this about his history and stuff, and not once does it mention in Wikipedia about his prophecies. He does mention about his books and about his works, and there's a few things I might actually look into. The Book of the Worlds, for example, and reprints of old rituals, and I'm sure there's embedded with lots of esoteric secret information, just like morals and dogma, except the Scottish Rite. Now, the Scottish Rite Freemasonry is just one organisation of many different secret societies that are all working together, but sometimes they don't. But currently I believe they do. So the Illuminati, for example, was a German secret society created by Adam Johann Weishaupt during a similar time to what was going on in other places, secret societies like the Freemasons and the Scottish Rite. It's just another one of those coincidences that many people would think, but it's not. So I'm going on from this page down the bottom. There's a link to a list of all Freemasons that are known and been verified, so to speak, and even unverified ones. Now, I haven't got all day to go through all of the list, but let's just look at the top 10. American silent film actor, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the Philippines, and acting President of the Philippines during World War II. American politician, served as Governor for New Jersey, member of Mystic Thai Lodge, and several others. Canadian Prime Minister, Australian politician, African-American lawyer and newspaper publisher. American comedian and actors. It's everyone and anyone that is in high places that have some kind of authority on your perception of reality. These people have embedded themselves in high places and work for what a lot of these people believe is, good, is not. They work for Lucifer, they work for the light bearer. That's what they believe. That's what they're taught. These people are just as indoctrinated as anyone else in this world. It's only when you get to the higher levels that you truly know what it's about. I.e., when you get to 33 degrees, you have to do certain, sacrifices and molest children. But I'm not saying that all of those organisations, like all the because it's trying to find which secret society or organisation that's doing it, because not all secret societies are, let's say, doing that as part of their rite of passage and rituals. But let's say those that are connected to the Catholic Church, so the Templars and the Freemasons, absolutely. So yeah, all these people And it goes on and on and on and on. So, I'm going back to Albert Pike now. And this was in the Sun. 7th of March 2016. Mystery 200-year-old letter revealed World War III plans and final battle against Islam. A letter written more than 200 years ago by a top military chief is claimed to have predicted 3 world wars. Albert Pike, who was a captain for the US Army during the American Civil War, is alleged to have penned a doctrine to an Italian politician outlining plans for 3 global conflicts to bring a one world government. Hear that? It plots how and why the First and Second World Wars raged in the early 1900s and provides a chilling prophecy over a third and final battle. The letter features heavily in the book Satan, Prince of This World, by former naval officer William Guy Carr. Now, for goodness sake, people, if Satanism isn't real and the ideologies that they believe in, as in like, you know, the evil and extreme harm to children, why is there a Church of Satan? Satan, you know, Anton LaVey, look into him. You know, it's ridiculous, this world we live in. So, it was reportedly sent by Pike, a Freemason, to Italian politician Giuseppe Mazzini, and was dated August 15th, 1871. The letter, it is claimed, suggests World War I was planned to overthrow the Tsars in Russia and make Russia a communist stronghold. World War II was sparked as a catalyst to destroy Nazism, so communism could take over warrior governments, and for a sovereign state of Israel to be set up in Palestine. A third global war, according to Pike, will be fought between the West and the leaders of the Islamic war. Now we're going to get into that in a bit. Pike is alleged to have written, according to Carr's book, the First World War must be brought about in order to permit the Illuminati to overthrow the power of the Tsars in Russia and of making that country a fortress of atheistic communism. The divergences caused by the agenda of the Illuminati between the British and the Germanic empires will be used to foment this war. At the end of the war, communism will be built and used in order to destroy the other governments and in order to weaken the religions. The Second World War must be formatted by taking advantage of the differences between the fascists and the political Zionists. This war must be brought about so Nazism is destroyed and that the political Zionism be strong enough to institute a sovereign state of Israel and Palestine. I mean, like, the whole World War was all about Israel. It's always been about Israel. It's always been about the Holy Land, the Catholic Church and the Holy Land. I mean, research history, this is what it's been about the whole time. And once they've got hold of it, destroying God's creation. Us. So during the Second World War, international communism must become strong enough in order to balance Christendom, which will be then restrained and held in check until the time when we will need it for the final social cataclysm. The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agenda of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. Now they full on control Islam. There's no denying that. They control the religion and they are using it to hate the West, to teach them to destroy the West. And if you don't think this is, a real thing, we got another thing coming. I mean, for example, if China turn around and hate and go against us, how many Chinese people are in this country? We've already been invaded. It's just a matter of time which enemy is going to turn around and get us from in our own country. So, and I'm not saying everyone out there is, the enemy that is these religions, but there are a lot of these people who have been brainwashed by the same people that we have when we go to school. The same people that you do when you go to the military or the police. You become a different person. The war must be concluded in such a way that Islam and political Zionism mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on the issue, would be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual and economic exhaustion. I mean, this is why our country's falling apart, because the politicians are destroying it from within. They don't give a toss about England. I mean, we don't actually live in a country, really, you know? We live in a Zionist state, because all our resources go towards Israel. Now, you know, you speak out about this, you know, and now I'm an anti-Semite. Hate the Jews. It's nothing about the people, it's about the elites. It's about, you know, the Catholic Church's plan to destroy this world. Using us. And most people are going to vote for it yet again. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and of most bloody turmoil. Then, everywhere, the citizens, obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries, will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitude, disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an idea, but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in the public view. I mean, they're doing this right now. All these musicians, you know, the movies are telling you the truth. You know, the musicians, literally all the Illuminati symbols are in their videos. You know, people think it's cool getting them tattooed on themselves. It is beyond a joke. You know, not knowing really what it really all means, and what it stands for, and what's really going on, and why we can actually stop it if you actually think for yourself and wake up and see these things. But you're not programmed to see these things at all. You know, this manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. I mean, this is exactly what they're doing. People are burning Bibles around the world, China and America. I mean, the words of our Creator are in that book. You know, that book may have been created by the Catholic Church and is some way not accurate to history, you know, but there are absolute truths in there still. Yeah, where they've not they've translated it and not messed around with it. You know, it was originally claimed the text was on show at the British Museum's library and was mysteriously taken down in the 1970s and never seen again. Both the British Museum and the British Library confirmed to the Daily Star Online there is no record of the letter being in the establishment process position. Brilliant. So yeah, just more, you know, truth really, that they know exactly how to use reality to manifest their will, and we don't. And if we did, we would not allow these people any time of day whatsoever. We wouldn't give it to them. We wouldn't even acknowledge them, you know, in their plans. Just, you know, we would destroy them morally and righteously. So anyway, I never page about the prophecies and stuff. I'm not, you know, I'll leave the links below. We're going into I said obviously about not living in the country anymore, and about us being controlled by Israel essentially, and the Catholic Church, you know, all our resources and stuff, and why Europe is, you know, on the international banks of Europe, and why we're trying to have Brexit and actually, you know, go back to actually using our own resources and being self-sufficient country again. But that's never going to happen. They're not going to allow it. They've already turned around and said we're not going to allow it. You know, you're not allowed to close your borders. So anyway, the Balfour Declaration was signed, and ever since then, the lives of Palestinians, have been shit, haven't they? You know, let's face it. But we've done nothing. You know, If there was any, if America was a real, true superpower that was free, and is the true, freedom fighters of the world, which they're not, then yeah, they'd be straight in there and trying to help Palestine, wouldn't you think? But no. Number one ally to fucking Israel, yeah, and they'll do all the bidding for them, just like we do. And that's partly because secret societies still control America through Britain, that then go to the Catholic Church, to Europe. Then, they all work together. So, the Zionist aim of establishing a Jewish state in Palestine into a reality when Britain publicly pledged to establish a national home for the Jewish people there. I mean, come on, that's exactly what happened. This is written in prophecy, it's written in the Bible. It is regarded as one of the most controversial and contested documents in modern history of the Arab world, and has puzzled historians for decades. It's not about, this is all about Israel, the whole thing, this whole, why we signed our resources away, why, about the Rothschilds, it's about the money, it's about control, it's about the illusion of the perception of reality, and their agendas, which has been going on for centuries. Anyway, what are the Templar Knights up to now? The Vatican's recent decision to release documents on the persecution of the Knights Templar in the 14th century has piqued interest in the mysterious order, but what are the later day Templars up to? Okay. They're Freemasons, right? This is a story in the Middle Ages that there was a secret organisation called the Knights Templar. Not so secret now, right? They are disbanded, with many killed on the orders of the Pope because they knew the secret that Jesus had a child with Mary Magdalene. Despite the killing of the order's members, society carried on its legacy of hidden knowledge today. There's a problem with this version of events, part inspired by Da Vinci's Code author Dan Brown, who's blatantly into it, he's in it, he's one of them, and other earlier authors. It's cobblers. Really? Is it fuck? There are lots of organisations today that bear the Templar name, but for the most part they are in business of charitable works inspired by the original order. Charitable works, The biggest philanthropists of all time are these people, They're going to say, we're going to do great works for the public. We're going to do amazing things, and then never do it, Inspire and do the opposite. Use that money to destroy you. Works inspired by the original order. Secret documents about Mary Magdalene are not in the order today. Of course not. But they still believe it. I'm going to show you. The original Templars were founded in the 12th century to guard pilgrims on their way along the dangerous roads that led to Jerusalem. They don't tell you on that road that they'll actually, a lot of them never made it to Jerusalem and that they robbed them and killed them. But alright. Its members were effectively armed monk-like knights who were granted certain legal privileges and whose status was backed by the church. They were reputed to be the possessors of great wealth and power. Yeah, because they stole it. Like, they steal everything just today. I mean, what's going on in France? Because there's riots, because they're thieves. They've got no right to anything. And people are waking up to this. But I don't want to, if there was any type of violent revolution that was necessary, which obviously it is, in some case, in this case, of reality, then we shouldn't be attacking shops, we shouldn't be attacking regular people, we should be burning down these lodges, we should be burning down places that facilitate Catholic Church organisations, and their agendas. I'm not going saying do that, I'm just saying that if we really wanted to help humanity, we need to attack the enemy, not regular people. The original Templars were founded in the 12th century to guard pilgrims on the way about dangerous roads, right, and the rest. But the later day Templars are rather like a version of the Rotary Club, with a vague religious tinge. Author and broadcaster in religious history Morton Palmer says. Right. It's a sort of version of the Rotarians with long cloaks and swords. The overall effect is clubby with a slight mystical element. But really, I mean, I only brought that up. Zionist view of Balfour Declaration. This is a joke. I'm not going into it now. 6 Day War. There was something else. Forgotten. Oh, it's this one. So anyway, I've seen a lot of documents on, secret societies and their symbolism and stuff like that. But essentially, there's one symbol that stands for Mary Magdalene in the Freemasons, and it's been going through history. I've seen like a documentary about the Templars and the Illuminati and their connection to that, and it's certainly there, as you can see clearly, from these paintings, that the M symbol certainly means something to these people. Now, if they were descendants of the Templars and secret knowledge, this certainly is evidence of it. And again, there are many, many, many paintings with hidden symbols and signs and stuff, with UFOs and, all sorts of things, hidden secrets, hidden in plain sight. Just like today. Just don't see it. But anyway, I'll link the video, because obviously it comes with sound. I thought this was interesting, just to show that you can even buy stuff with the M symbol on it, with the Mason symbol on it, which actually is for Mary Magdalene, because it's a Templar origin. You can buy mugs. They're not around today, are they? These people. 2 Freemason lodges operating secretly at the UK Parliament. 2 Mason lodges set up for MPs and political journalists are continue to operate secretly at UK Parliament, a media report said on 5th of February 2018. Nah, these secret sites don't exist today. Not at all. These prominent people are like the greatest show on earth. They all work together for this mass illusion. 2 Freemason lodges set up for MPs and political journalists continue to operate secretly at the UK Parliament, a media report said. New Welcome Lodge, which recruits MPs, peers and parliamental staff, and Gallery Lodge, established for members of Political Press Corps, known as the Lobby, both remain active, the Guardian report quoted Freemason records as saying. Probably, the people in the Guardian work for them, they're probably told to do this. A third lodge called the Alfred Robbins Lodge, which was also set up for the journalists, also continues to meet regularly in London. Just like they meet regularly, annual meetings around the world. Heads of corporations and editors, they meet secretly. Politicians. But they couldn't be possibly discussing any agenda like to do with, what they're up to. Really? No, in secret? Just, people, man. The identities of the members of these 3 lodges remain unknown outside the world of Freemasonry. However, and so discreet are the members of Gallery Lodge that few journalists working in the lobby appear to be aware of its existence. Yeah, I only thought there was 2 and still reading into this third one. One current member of New Welcome told The Guardian that his members keep Gallery Lodge Masons at arm's length on the grounds that while they're fellow members of the Brotherhood, brothers, that's what they like, that's what they teach, they are still journalists, and they wouldn't want journalists listening to their conversations. At Westminster, MPs and peers are not obliged to declare their membership of Freemasonry, the Guardian reported. So, you got 2 free, openly operating Freemason lodges in Parliament, and no one questions it, really, you know? No one goes, why are they there? What are they doing? What does Freemason really believe? They believe a lot, and you must know this. You know, the enemy. 3 lodges each meet 4 times a year at Freemason Hall, the UGLE headquarters in Covent Garden, London. According to Guardian, former members of the Gary Lodge have included former journalists of Times and Daily Express and the Scotsman. No surprise, news editors, you know what I mean? If you go back to that list, I mean, it's just constant. News editors, lawyers, judges, dukes, presidents, journalists, movie stars, music stars, astronauts, poets, princes, governors. I mean, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at it. So, this is what I'm saying. All these people here, I reckon 3/4 of them are probably Masons or members of secret societies. It's disgusting. We don't live in a free world. It is an illusion that we're free, created by these people. Why do they get away with doing the horrendous things to us? The Journalists Union's senior Conservative MP has expressed alarm at the disclosure that 2 Freemason lodges established to recruit at Westminster are continuing to operate. The National Union of Journalists said both journalists and members of Parliament should openly declare their membership of Freemasonry. The NUJ General Secretary, Michelle Stanistreet, said, "Trust in journalism is absolutely essential, and transparency of membership of the Freemason is long overdue." Well, it's because they control the media, right? So we can't trust the media anymore. At all, in fact. Because they lie. They're part of the agenda. You know, the editors of the media are Freemasons. So how can we trust anything they say? You can't. You know, it's all an agenda. It's part of the show. The NUJ backs calls for Freemason membership to be listed by both journalists and MPs in their declared register of interest when working in Parliament. Sarah Wollaston, sorry if I don't say your names right, the Totnes MP, who chairs 2 parliamentary committees, wrote that MPs should be made to declare membership of the Freemasons. Damn right they should. We should know who these people are. We need to expose them. We should write a big F on their bloody fucking heads. I have to ask why anyone would bother with all that claptrap, if not the chance to weasel an unfair advantage. So of course it should be compulsory to declare membership of Freemasons if your job is paid for taxpayers, she wrote on Twitter. I mean, they take taxpayers' money and then use it against us as well. I mean, how obscene does it have to get before people realise the world we live in? I mean, it's getting there. It's so bad already, but it's going to get worse. Senior Freemasons insist there is no contradiction between the practice of journalism and membership of Freemasonry. Right, of course not. David Staples, the Chief Executive of the United Grand Lodge of England, which governs about 200,000 Freemasons in England and Wales, said that, contrary to popular perception, membership helps those serve in society, including journalists, politicians, policemen and lawyers, to perform those roles well. Right. Their membership is a positive for both of them as individuals and for society at large, he said, adding that more Freemasons would declare their membership if they did not fear prejudice and discrimination. Right. We're headed that way, tolerant to these people's ideologies, and they're being very open about it nowadays. They're not hiding it anymore. You know, they're being very if anything, abrupt about this information that they're telling us and their plans. Love and tolerance, you know? Yeah, let's love and tolerate everything. Yeah, we love Freemasonry, even though they're the biggest paedophilic organisation in the world that, you know, are the suits. CIA and, you know, MI5 are the biggest child trafficking ring in the world. It's the biggest business on this planet. But no one gives a toss about the kids. Don't think about it, you know? Just, never mind. It happens. Part of society. It's life. So angry and depressed about this situation that, you know, people, we just need a reset button or something, you know? Start with people's minds again. But that's not going to happen. Critics of undisclosed membership of Freemason included Paul W., the executive editor of the Huffington Post, who wrote, "I do recall once arriving early for a Commons meeting in a little-known part of the House to find all the chairs arranged in a very odd manner indeed, and hearing a rumour that this was where a Mason had met, probably in either a pyramid or an eye. I'm going to go with the eye. The chairs were in an eye. Verifying anything was possible. What particularly odd is that neither MPs nor journalists are required to declare their membership in the Commons Registry of Interests. Surely if there's anything to hide, transparency is now overdue." Wouldn't you say they're not transparent at all, you see? None of them are. So anyway, I'll link all these below. Thank you very much for watching today. Please subscribe, share, like, and yeah, see you next time.